streets causing trouble. And I think they're both important.
Yeah, I would echo, thanks to SJP and everyone who helped to make this happen, especially this week. I think we all know how important and how essential this work is, and how, and this gets to some of the questions I think we're going to answer, how courageous this work is, right? And the kind of blowback and the kind of resistance that people have been getting for BDS work, for SJP work nationwide. And I think that's, exactly the question that we're confronting today and what it's going to mean for people to do this kind of work in the future. Echoing, I think, some of these things. For me, again, organizing first, organizing while studying, and then using the studying as a way to look for tools, right? Tools that can help you then engage in that work, or to write about that work and communicate it well, or to make good, to do good, what I would call ideological work, right? Giving people concepts, giving them ideas that they can use to continue the struggle. At the same time, though, I want to ask about the word activism, because, you can walk up and down Locust Walk any day of the week and see a lot of activists, right? You can see people doing things, organizing, advocating, and they're not suffering any consequences for what they're doing, because you can do any range of bullshit. Sure, sorry. You can do a whole range of things that don't threaten the political power apparatus, in this country and in this world, and there aren't going to be any consequences for it, right? And so I think maybe more than being scholar activists, I think we need scholar militants, right? We need scholars who aspire at least to be revolutionaries, scholars who want to also burn it to the ground, who also want to use their knowledge to destroy this in a lot of ways, right? And to tear these walls down. And I think those are some of the things that we need to aspire to be. Of course, the consequences for that are significant. The past year has seen, I think, is more than 250 attacks on just professors, right? And that's not even the full range of who counts as scholars and intellectuals who are under attack. But just violent attacks, right? Violent threats and threats to people's livelihoods. Many in this area. Ciccariello-Maher at Princeton, was on the receiving end of really some incredibly vile things for saying just straightforward and true facts about the president. And yet, I think part of what we need to understand is that we suffer these consequences because we're touching a nerve, right? Yeah. There's this phrase that says the third rail is where the power is. Like, that's why people react. And it's no coincidence, I think, that the third, you often hear the third rail in this country referred to as either race and white supremacy or Israel-Palestine, right? Because these are two things that if you touch them, the reaction is immediate, right? The response is immediate. But the point, I think, is to understand that that's because it matters, right? And that's because it matters what you all are doing here.
I guess I didn't answer fully the question about the price you pay. There's a huge price.